Hello and welcome to The Worst of the Muppets Holiday Edition, presented by ToughPigs.com. We all know that the Muppets have made some of the greatest films, specials, and TV episodes in history, but everyone makes mistakes, even Kermit the Frog. In this podcast mini-series, we'll be taking a closer look at some of the worst holiday specials the Muppets have ever been a part of. You will wish that these specials had never been born. This week, we'll be talking about It's a Very Merry Muppet Christmas Movie, in which Kermit exists, does not exist, and then exists once again. But before we get into this mess, let's meet our special guest. She's an actor and a playwright, and almost as exciting, she's married to me! Please welcome Sarah Elizabeth Grace of the podcast.
Hi.
Hi, Sarah.
Much like Whoopi Goldberg, I am the only woman in a sea of men.
Oh, well, accurate. That's probably why she started that other show.
The View?
The View.
She didn't start The View.
She didn't?
No, that was Barbara Walters.
Well, I thought she was there at the beginning, too. What do I know? I'm just a man.
So she's God, right?
We'll get to that. That's a whole thing that we have to unpack.
We gotta unpack that.
Before we get into who or what Whoopi Goldberg is, I have to first apologize to you for making you watch It's a Very Merry Muppet Christmas Movie.
Can I tell you, if we had watched that when we were first dating 107 years ago, I probably would have found a lot of things to appreciate about it, because I was so desperately into you that I would have found a way to make this movie work. And it's so much better to hate on it together. As a Scorpio and a Capricorn, we can also unite in hate.
It's true.
And boy, like, we were silent the entire film, and then after, so that we could wait until this moment to talk about how bad that movie is.
I can't wait to break it wide open for you.
Oh my God.
So what I've been asking other people on this podcast is, what is your history with this special, this movie? Do you recall seeing it for the first time? This was your very first viewing, you're saying.
I had never even heard of this movie. Like, I'd heard it referenced when you would speak about, like, letters to Santa, or there's certain Muppet plot holes that I just have missed. And this came out in 2002. So I would have been I assume this was December of 2002 that it came out.
It actually came out on November 29th, 2002.
Okay, so I had just turned 14. Haha. And which means I'm old to probably a lot of listeners as well, because we're old now. And so this was definitely not on my radar, which later will be interesting when we talk about what the content of the movie entails. So yeah, I think it was just too much of a devotee to Muppet Christmas Carol to have any other Muppets Christmas specials really be of interest to me. But I was also in 8th grade, so I wasn't tuning in, and my parents probably weren't like, there was no such thing as DVRs really. Like, some people had TiVo, but that was it. So unless you were there to watch it, you didn't see it. It didn't exist.
That's true. I mean, like you said, I've probably brought this up too many times. Every Christmas, I feel like I say, like, well, there's so many Christmas Muppet productions that we could watch. And
you've never brought this one up.
I'm sure I bring it up and then never actually go, like, but we could watch it. It's like, it's on the list.
No.
It's always on the list.
You are a liar, because there's only one bad Muppet Christmas special that you even actually pitch, which is A Sesame Street Christmas.
Yeah, a special Sesame Street Christmas, which I unironically love.
Yes, and I've seen it once or twice.
Right. I would not normally force you to watch a terrible Muppet Christmas thing.
Oh, also Mr. Willoughby's Christmas Tree, of course, which I'm a little peeved that wasn't my special that I got to watch, but it's because I actually find good things about it. So maybe I was not the right.
Yeah, that's not the right. That's not the point of this whole podcast.
That's fair.
We're here to complain.
I would be defending Stockard Channing's bad Swedish accent. And been like, you know what? At least we have anything with Leslie Nielsen at all.
That is true.
We should be grateful.
That is true. Well, let's talk a little bit about what is A Very Merry Muppet Christmas Movie. As I said, it aired on NBC, not ABC, which is weird that there's all these NBC references throughout this whole thing. And because this movie came out in 2002, which is that weird time when the Muppets were owned by the German company EMTV. Did you even know that the Muppets were owned by a German company called EMTV?
No, I did not, Joe.
Oh, no. Oh, Ilsa. Yes, no, that was in that weird time. So they worked with Disney on certain things, like obviously, Muppet Christmas Carol is a Disney production, but they weren't owned by Disney yet. This is one of the reasons why this special is not available to stream on Disney Plus, because I presume that NBC Universal owns the rights to it. It is also notable for bringing the Muppets back to the Muppet Theater, the first time pretty much since the early 1980s, and for bringing back some characters that were previously silent because of the passing of their performers, including Rolf the dog, Scooter, and Janice. They had been silent. You have a look of confusion on your face.
No, you're totally right. I was I did not watch Muppets from Space or Muppets Wizard of Oz, so I can't speak to whether they were performed in those movies. But yeah, that's a major trivia point.
Yeah, and really, it's like Scooter had a couple of lines here. Rolf makes a background appearance there. It's like they weren't gone.
Yeah.
But definitely for Scooter and Janice, they were both performed by Brian Henson in this movie. And this, I think, is the only time he ever performed those characters. But there was obviously an attempt to, let's start bringing these characters back in the fold. Speaking of which, it's also notable for being Eric Jacobson's first real big role as Frank Oz's characters.
Yeah, he has a lot to do in this movie.
Yeah. So we'll get into all that as well.
My tagline for this movie is, do you wish the Muppets turned into a horrible send-up of It's a Wonderful Life 2/3 of the way through? Well, do we have a movie for you? And by the Muppets, I don't mean like the collective Muppets. I mean the movie from 2011, The Muppets.
Well, okay, so let's talk about that first, since you brought it up. So this is something that a lot of Muppet fans are aware of, but you, not being in the Muppet fan community like I am, came to this conclusion on your own. You said it as we were watching the movie.
It was literally the first scene where Kermit is obviously very upset walking through the Muppet Theater, and everyone's like, what's going on? And he's like, don't talk to me. And then he presumably walks in the snow to sit on a bench to die.
Yep.
What?
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait, this feels a lot like the Muppets 2011 movie.
Yeah,
and then,
you picked up on that right away.
And then it's like, what do you mean we lost the theater? It's just so like...
Yep.
So did Jason Segel see this then?
I mean, he probably did, forgot, and then wrote it again. But also, it's such an easy plot point. It's like when we talk about, the Muppets have to get back together again. The Muppets have to save the theater. It's these really obvious, even though these tropes have only happened a few times to the Muppets, it's such an easy thing. It's such an easy plot point for them.
But, they never did it in the beginning of...
No.
It's only been a repeated plot point since the original writers have stopped making Muppet content.
That's true.
So it's really just a lazy trope.
It's a lazy trope, and I think you probably agree, these kinds of lazy tropes tend to come up when there's been a big gap in a franchise. We are essentially reintroducing the Muppets to an audience, in 2002, because they haven't had a big project. They had Muppets from Space in '99.
It's only 3 years.
It's only 3 years, but that movie wasn't a big hit.
But we've been further away from Muppet content at this point. Well, I guess because if you count the TV shows.
I know, that's the thing. But that's the thing. Nowadays it's different because people's attention spans are so much shorter than they were just 20 years ago that even if the Muppets have been gone from the public eye for a couple of years, we have to reintroduce them over and over and over again.
I don't think we do, though. That's the thing.
Yeah.
People,
I agree with you.
Yeah. Which is why when they act out of character, it's really jarring and not satisfying at all. Like the whole sad sack Kermit thing.
Yeah. Which is most of this movie.
I know. Yeah. It's so grating.
Yeah.
That's my canon for the Muppets. Like, what is the core Muppet behavior is always going to go back to the Muppet Show. Like, the Muppet Show, I think, is all you need to do to remind yourself what makes these characters funny. How do they relate to one another? Who has, what's everyone's status, and how do they lose status, and how do they gain status, and who has conflict with who? But so it's really dissatisfying when Kermit is essentially trigger warning, but literally he says he doesn't want to be born. He's literally at the very least depressed and at the very most suicidal. I don't want to see that in my Muppet movies.
Well, we don't see it in this opening scene. I do want to get to this stuff.
I'm so sorry.
No, you're fine. Don't apologize. This is part of the magic that we're going to weave with this retelling the story through this
And to be fair, that is how we meet Kermit, is that he is
That's right. And
about to die on this bench.
And we have the record scratch and yep, that's me. Bet you're wondering how I got here.
Well, let me tell you.
And we see that Kermit is being watched by David Arquette, who is an angel named Daniel. And he's like, we got to do something. And so he goes to the boss. And the boss, as you alluded to earlier, is God. It's Whoopi Goldberg as God.
Although his direct boss is esteemed David Mamet actor William H. Macy.
What does the H stand for?
Handsome.
Incorrect. William H. Macy is having a nice time.
When he says something like, it's career suicide, I was like, is that the first time the word suicide has been mentioned in a Muppets movie?
Ooh, good question.
Muppet
good
Wiki, get on it.
Yeah, let us know. What do you think about the idea that God is a character in a Muppet movie?
So God is a woman,
Sure.
a black woman.
Yep.
Played by Whoopi Goldberg.
Yep.
And I think the Muppets are essentially shepherding a woke agenda. And for 2002, strong choices.
Yeah,
strong
no,
choices.
I appreciate it. Yeah, and this role for Whoopi Goldberg really cements her, as we've talked about on other podcasts and other articles on Tough Pigs, as one of the best friends of the Muppets. Because not only has she appeared with them many times, public events and small things, appearances here and there. She was a guest star on Muppets Tonight. But now they've literally cast her as the creator of all things.
She is the god of the Muppets.
Yeah. Sorry, Jim. It's not you. It's Whoopi. So we kind of had this moment of, just like in It's a Wonderful Life, we are going to see the angels looking down. Let's get this guy's life story before we decide what we're going to do about it. The Muppets need to raise a whole bunch of money to save the theater. And we meet Rachel Bitterman, who owns, technically, I guess she has the loan on the building through her bank. I don't know how finance works. And she is played by Joan Cusack,
who is the saving grace of this film.
Truly, I was trying to clock how many times I was laughing or even smiling during this movie, and every time it was because of something Joan Cusack did.
I was texting a friend while we were watching the movie because they were like, what's going on? What are you doing tonight? And I said, I'm watching this terrible movie from 2002 that the Muppets did. And they Googled it, and they're like, a Very Merry Muppet Movie? And I was like, how did you know? And they're like, I Googled it. And they said, yeah, the cast list and the summary looks pretty bad, except Joan Cusack!
Joan Cusack!
We all know that Joan Cusack is going to be the best thing of any bad thing.
It's true. And you and I often quote Addams Family Values as it's one of the best movies. We watch it at least once a year.
She's not only a great actress in general, but is an amazing villain. And though this villain, and we can get into it a little bit more, it's a very 2002 corporate villain that is very much of its era.
Yeah. Greed is good. We're back to that.
Right, but it's like, well, we'll get to the worst things that could possibly come from a person like this later. That, of course, in 2023 is like, oh, well, don't worry, it could get worse.
We had no idea. So the Muppets need to raise all this money. They only apparently know how to raise money one way. That's to put on a big show. And we see the show that they're putting on. It starts with Moulin Scrooge, which is a big Moulin Rouge spoof.
I cannot believe at this point when you saw it, because I assume you watched it when it premiered.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And I remember I was a super fan of Moulin Rouge, the movie. I had both soundtracks because they came in two different CDs. And I ran that DVD into the ground. And I was the one who introduced you to the movie.
That's true.
As adults.
Yeah. It was like maybe 2 years ago. Yeah.
No. Was it?
It was pretty recent.
It was before the pandemic, Joe.
Was it before the pandemic?
Yeah.
I thought it was during the pandemic.
So that would have been 5 years ago.
Oh, wow. Well, I didn't.
Anyway, but so we're watching this. It is shot for shot. Moulin Scrooge there's a lot of like shot for shot send ups to Moulin Rouge. And I'm sitting here thinking, first of all, I can't believe like it's Fozzie Bear as Jim Broadbent, as Harold Ziegler, Robin as Kylie Minogue as the Green Fairy, Gonzo as John Leguizamo as Toulouse-Lautrec, like the inception of, and then Piggy as Nicole Kidman, who is Satine, but she's Saltine. Like, honestly, the parody, not bad, but you had to be there. And so I'm watching this going, Joe didn't understand any of this.
I mean, and I was telling you, like, I understood enough because that movie was so popular. It was in the zeitgeist. So I didn't not get it. I didn't love it because, it meant nothing to me.
Meant nothing.
No, nothing at all. But also, this is going to be a recurring thing throughout this entire movie, that this is a reference that is very, very rooted in 2002.
Right. And it's so odd because there's so many things that the Muppets did during the Muppet Show that were also of its time and yet somehow are not dated.
Yeah, that's a good question. I'd love to think more about that someday because, it's stuff like the Muppets did a disco song.
Disco Frog.
Yeah, Disco Frog, sure. And then, disco goes out of style, but then it becomes a little bit more ironic. You could still watch it, on different levels. But it's not a specific reference to, like, Kermit in Saturday Night Fever, which would have been cool, but maybe not, because there's no guarantee in that era that Saturday Night Fever would have lasted the test of time.
Which it did. It's a great movie, guys. Check it out. Although it's trigger warning. It's pretty intense.
It's pretty intense, yeah. So turns out Rachel Bitterman has changed the terms of the contract. Now they have to get all this money that they just raised to the bank by 6 p.m., not midnight. Which, by the way, did you notice a little Easter egg that I didn't notice until after the fact? Bunsen and Beaker are the ones who come in with the money. Did you notice how they were dressed?
They were dressed in the Victorian garb of Le Christmas Carol.
You did notice.
Of course I noticed.
You love that movie.
I love that movie so much. And if you want to know how much I love that movie, go check out my episode of Moving Right Along.
That's
in Muppet Christmas Carol, where I swear the most that any guest has ever sworn because I love the movie so much.
You earned every one of those swears. Fozzie Bear volunteers to take the money to the bank.
Which, by the way, Fozzie Bear is already so Uncle Billy coded.
Yep.
Like, it had to be him, but it also means that you immediately know what's going to happen.
Right. Well, Fozzie can't do things right.
Right.
Definitely not the first time.
Well, and so, like, already it's pretty bad. But I will say, I argue that the dramatic tension that continues to mount, and there continues to be a bunch of obstacles throughout his entire journey to trying to drop off the money. As soon as he runs into that Santa and the bag switch, and you see that the bag switched, like, all those other obstacles that come into play, there's no tension there because you've already seen that the bags are switched.
Yeah, we're just kind of waiting to see how it rolls out and what the reactions are.
It's a waste of time.
It is. But I have to point out, the first thing that happens is he runs into a guy doing a bad impression of Steve Irwin, the crocodile hunter.
Oh my God.
They couldn't get the real Steve Irwin.
Which, thank goodness, because I wouldn't want him to debase himself.
No, but it's not like he was. I mean, obviously he was a big star when he was around.
Yeah,
but,
in 2002?
Yeah. But like, that would have been a good collaboration between him and the Muppets. I'm actually a little surprised that he isn't in this movie.
He probably was busy.
But also, there aren't any other people pretending to be celebrities in this movie. They have celebrities as themselves, or celebrities playing characters. So it stands out as being really weird. And again, like we were saying about Moulin Rouge, it's a reference that is so deeply rooted at that time. And, like, it's not really a thing anymore.
It's true.
Yeah. So he's chased by the crocodile hunter. He goes through a Christmas tree thing where he's painted green. Now he looks like the Grinch. And then we have a reference to the Ron Howard, Jim Carrey Grinch movie with the people, the Who's in their very specific makeup.
Which I think was made by Universal.
Sure.
Well, Universal owns Grinch. I know that.
Okay.
So, it's a part of the synergy.
Sure. I mean, and I get that. There's a lot of synergy throughout this movie. They even make jokes about this synergy with NBC. And so he's chased by those folks, and then, like you said, he loses the bag to the Salvation Army Santa, and then has to go through, like, a weird laser grid at the bank where he's being burned by the lasers. Which,
you skipped over the racist front desk guy.
Oh, I did. I didn't want to talk about it, but go for it.
There's literally 2 hugely racist moments in this film, both of which are racist towards East Asian communities. The front desk guy who can't seem to say English words well or understand English words well. And
that was because he was hard of hearing. I'm just
did he
saying,
have a hearing? Did we see that? Because it sounded to me like it was because of his accent. Because he was definitely
you might be right.
Strong.
I definitely defined it that way, but the fact that there's confusion about it tells me that they probably need another draft.
You think? Yes, but that felt very racist to me. And we'll talk about the other racist moment later in the plot.
Oh, I can't wait. What a teaser. So Fozzie, gives the bag to Rachel Bitterman just in time for her to see, it's not money, it's old clothes. And the clock strikes 6 o'clock. Fozzie Bear screams at the heavens, and the Muppet Theater is lost forever. The end. That's where the movie ends. What'd you think?
Well, if I'm going to see somebody take that theater, better her turning it into the Dot than Tex Richmond turning it into a parking lot.
That's fair, yeah. But
is that what he turned it into?
No.
Oil rig?
Yeah, it's oil. Oil, she. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, you want oil, she.
So basically, The Muppets 2011 and Killers of the Flower Moon are the same movie.
That's something that we're going to have to unpack later. We don't have time for that on this podcast. So this is where we get back to the whole, this is how I got there moments. We see Kermit. He's really sad. They lost the theater. He feels like it's all his fault when really it's all Fozzie's fault.
Which, again, is very It's a Wonderful Life. And that's like a subtle reference that I appreciate.
Mm-hmm.
But not the exact mapping of I wish I'd never been born.
Right. Because
oh man.
Kermit sits on this bench, freezes himself solid, which, by the way, apparently is something that some frogs can do. They can just freeze completely solid to get through the winter, and then they thaw in the spring. So maybe it's not quite a self-harm thing as much as it is Kermit being like, I'm just going to hibernate for a few months and get my act together.
Maybe that would have been in the next draft.
The next draft needed that.
That sort of distinction between, although, because I often, if I've ever gotten severely depressed, I'm always just like, okay, I'm just going to freeze into a frogsicle.
Yeah.
And wait until spring to thaw out.
That's right. The boss, remember the boss?
God,
yeah. She sends Daniel down to deal with this nonsense.
Looking like an ice cream salesman.
From Hello Dolly.
From Hello Dolly, specifically, which you can understand because, you've seen that movie.
I have seen Hello Dolly, and I've seen WALL-E. Yep. So Kermit doesn't trust this guy, and he says, you don't run one of those internet Muppet fan sites, do you? Now, I have to point this out because for two reasons.
I wrote it in all caps in my notes.
That's right. The first reason is I run one of those Muppet fan sites. Excuse me, it's 2002. We have to use the word internet to make sure you know what a site is. I run one of those internet Muppet fan sites. The second thing that I just learned recently, that is actually a reference to Tough Pigs.
What?
Yeah, Jim Lewis, the Muppet writer, he wrote that. Tough Pigs had debuted a year earlier, 2001, and he was like, what is this thing? What a bunch of weirdos. And so it was a reference specifically to toughpigs.com, which is still around today.
So Jim Lewis was the writer of this script.
He's one of the writers, yes.
They had more than one?
Yes, the writers of this movie were Jim Lewis and Tom Martin.
Oh, so just two people that were bad at this job.
Look, it takes a village. So anyway, I feel honored to be kind of not really referenced in this movie. I wish it was in a better movie, but whatever. Beggars can't be choosers. So this is the big moment. Kermit wishes he'd never been born. And as you said, it's a little obvious. We already know the plot of this thing. It's a Wonderful Life is a really famous movie. So Kermit does this in this very over-the-top way, which I think is pretty fun. Like, he's just losing his mind.
Sure.
Yeah, it's cute.
It's more unhinged Kermit, which we need to see more of. I think you need to have fine Kermit and unhinged Kermit, but depressed Kermit doesn't play.
Yep, completely agree with that. So Daniel takes him to the world in which Kermit was never born.
Well, after a brief Yoda cameo.
Yeah, that's weird, where he, I guess, takes him to...
the wrong universe?
Yeah, to a galaxy far, far away for a brief moment.
Ha, 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 ha.
That's a bit of a stretch. The Henson Company had to build a whole Yoda puppet for that.
Just the back of it.
No, they actually built a Yoda puppet. It looks like a Yoda Muppet. There's a picture of it on the Muppet Wiki that you can see.
Go check it out.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know, it looks like a fan-made Yoda, because it doesn't look like Yoda. It
right.
Looks, whatever. And, of course, that's Eric Jacobson playing another Frank Oz character, but this is one that is not part of the regular Muppet troupe. The park in which Kermit and Daniel were sitting has now become a shopping mall.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Commerce.
I wrote, don't worry, malls will be killed by corporate synergy in a decade. It's like, man, remember malls?
Yeah, really. Not many people do, because there's like nobody in this mall. It's already kind of a ghost town.
Yeah, it's one of those bad malls.
Yep. We're going through all the characters. Let's see what everyone's been up to in this universe. Gonzo is a panhandler at the mall. He's a performance artiste with Amy the Dancing Brick.
Which honestly, that one's the most realistic.
Yeah. Yeah, Gonzo would be like, no, I just want to do weird performance art.
Yeah.
I don't care who it's for. I don't care where it is.
He'll survive.
I'd like to eat, but I've got this dancing brick.
And we don't even know what Gonzo eats.
That's a good point. I don't know what he eats. We see on a TV screen, Rizzo is a rat on Fear Factor. This might be the worst reference.
Well,
Pop culture reference, I mean.
And this is honestly the saddest part of the future that Kermit was never born, is that Joe Rogan somehow still has a career in this alternate universe.
I mean, he had a pretty big career in 2002 on that Fear Factor show.
I'm aware.
Corporate synergy, but yes.
But I'm just saying, even when Kermit hasn't been born, Joe Rogan still will end up being Joe Rogan, and that's sad.
Yeah.
That's quite sad.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that. The Electric Mayhem are doing Riverdance, which doesn't seem like that big of a deal.
Yeah, and also, I have to give it to the Muppets, who often do references that are a little too stale. Like by 2002, as somebody who had an Irish dancing family, because my brothers and sister all did Irish dance, the only reason I got out of doing Irish dance is because it conflicted with my youth theater that I was doing at the same time on Saturday mornings. But yeah, by 2002, Riverdance was on its way out. So I'm just saying it's another one of those, you're a little too late Muppets.
Do you think that was the joke? Is that like, oh, they're doing this dumb dance fad thing that's no longer around?
No, I don't think they could think of anything else that would be quote unquote upsetting and a waste of their talent.
Interesting. Yeah.
Also, Animal was river dancing in Birkenstocks. I just want to make that clear. Why?
Is that not how you do it?
I don't know why they made that choice.
I wonder if it's because Animal's feet wouldn't be recognizable because normally he's barefoot. And so they wanted to show his feet because otherwise it's just like red noodles for legs.
I will say the best thing about this, I should say that the strongest writing about this alternative universe that has nothing to do with the characters of Kermit never being born is the fact that Doc Hoppers ended up becoming a franchise that is so popular, you can find it next to a Sbarro's at the mall. Like in 2002, in some other multiverse, I would go to the mall and like get my Limited 2 shirt and pierce my ears at Claire's and then go pick up some frog legs because Kermit was never born.
Yeah, that I actually very much appreciate that reference. They lingered on it a little too long. Like Kermit being like, oh no. I guess he feels responsible now for like millions of frogs on tiny crutches.
Or dead. What do you mean? Do you think they only take one leg?
Well, that's the reference from the Muppet movie. He says, "Oh, I could just picture millions of frogs on tiny crutches."
Nah, because they're dead.
Oh no, for sure. Both things are true.
Because I think when you cut off I've seen it.
Well, I don't want to get into how frog legs are made, Sarah.
Look, this is already a terrible movie.
Yeah, we don't need to do that. All right, so Kermit goes to check out the Muppet Theater.
Oh my God, this is great. I can't wait to talk about this.
And instead of the Muppet Theater, it's Rachel Bitterman's her prized possession, her dream business. It's Club Dot.
Club Dot. People are on drugs. Sam the Eagle is rolling with a pacifier in his mouth.
Yeah, what a choice.
I kind of love Sam the Eagle on ecstasy with a pacifier in his mouth.
He's definitely on ecstasy.
Oh, that's the only reason why you have those pacifiers. Is because you have dry mouth when you're rolling, and that's why you suck on that.
He's got the glow sticks.
I say this with no reference of actually doing ecstasy. I want to be clear about that.
Yeah, I actually didn't know that was the reason for the pacifiers.
I
so
do
tells
know
you.
I know. I have
that
friends
tells you
who've
about
done
my experience with ecstasy as well. So Bunsen and Beaker are there.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Bunsen has a soul patch, which is sad.
Yeah,
that is
very
sad.
Already out the door in 2002.
But Beaker is ripped, and I wonder maybe because also earlier we have one of the very few gags in modern Muppets where like Beaker actually gets like somehow maimed by Bunsen Honeydew, which doesn't really happen very much in the Muppets the way it did in the Muppet Show. At least off the top of my head that I can think of. But also it's like, wow, so would Beaker have just been like jacked if he wasn't constantly getting maimed by his lab partner?
I wonder, it's two things. Number one, I've always assumed, this is my own headcanon, I have nothing to back this up, that Beaker speaks the way he does because he's so traumatized by whatever Bunsen did to him. And so the fact that he still speaks in meeps, despite the fact that his meeps are much lower, he's got much, like a bass now.
Is that he still carries trauma?
Yeah, so he's got trauma from somewhere. Maybe it's not Bunsen. Maybe I'm wrong about that. The other thing being that, like, Beaker, yeah, like he's got hobbies now that he's like, he likes to work out. He likes to get arm tattoos.
Did he have arm tattoos?
He has a like a barbed wire thing around his bicep.
Oh, just like Chris Maloney. And
Beaker's just like Chris Maloney.
See, not everything in this universe without Kermit is bad. Also, Scooter is a go-go cage dancer at Club
what
Dot.
A choice.
And he's wearing a skirt and a choker.
Oh, I didn't notice the skirt.
I'm almost positive he's wearing a skirt.
I thought they were shorts, but you might be right.
I think it was a skirt. And it's like, okay, go off, queen. Like, what? That's a consensual, gender-fluid choice.
But I have so many questions about this that I feel like we have to talk to the writers about at some point, because they're making stuff like that feel like it's such a negative. Like, oh my God, it's terrible that he's dancing or that he might be cross-dressing. Because in the same scene, there's a human adult male who's like sees Kermit and starts making like kissy faces at him. Yeah. And I feel like it's a little bit of gay panic.
Yeah. But does that mean that Joan Cusack's character is actually like a gay icon?
Do you think that Club Dot, she wanted to open Club Dot because she really wanted there to be like a hot gay bar?
Like a kinky gay bar?
Oh.
I mean, also, Statler and Waldorf are only welcome if they're going to buy girls drinks. And once they've run out of money, they are thrown out. Which, honestly, they're creepy old men and they should be thrown out.
Yeah, that felt real.
I'm pro Joan Cusack on this matter, honestly. Because they're like perv, like shit stirrers. And if they're not going to spend their money at the establishment, goodbye.
That's right.
So again, not all bad things.
True.
Maybe there is room in this world for Kermit to be alive, the Muppet Theater to run, and for Club Dot to have a safe space for kinky gay people.
I think you're right. And just to wrap it up, I have to mention Johnny Fiamma is there bartending, and Robin, Kermit's nephew, who I guess does exist in this world in which his uncle does not, is bussing tables. Outside the bar, Kermit and Daniel get thrown out, and they meet Fozzie Bear, who immediately picks their pockets. And Kermit doesn't even have pockets.
Yeah, I feel like Fozzie should not have been good at that, because Fozzie should be bad at everything in every universe.
That's true.
Like, he should have been running away with, like, the change falling out or something.
Yeah,
Because he can't be that good at that. Like, because then now that also means in this universe that Kermit's never been born, Fozzie is actually successful at something, which is against his character.
Boy, that's a lot to unpack, too.
Just saying. Right. Yeah. Just saying. Maybe Kermit was holding him back from reaching his full potential.
True. Yeah.
Maybe it wasn't about being a comic. Maybe it was about being a robber.
Well, then we get what I think is our clearest parallel to It's a Wonderful Life. You know what I'm going to say.
Oh, no. She's a librarian.
She's an old maid.
She's an old maid. She's not horny. Miss Piggy isn't horny. What's the world come to? She's a crazy cat lady who's pretending to be a Jamaican psychic. Oh, no, she only does the phone acting. Which, by the way, it was so triggering because she's like, I'm still an actress. And I just remember being in lockdown and being like, am I an actress still?
You are an actress.
Well, now I am.
Well, yeah, you always have been. But what I was going to say is like same what she says. It's like I'm still an actress just from home. And like that is what like a lot of people like yourself had to do during the pandemic.
I know. I just felt very triggered by it.
No, that's really real. So and as you said, she's putting on a fake Jamaican accent and doing these fake telephone psychic calls, which is a direct reference to Miss Cleo.
Miss Cleo!
Another early 2000s, late 90s, early 2000s reference that like does not hold up today.
Absolutely. The children would never know.
Never know.
And by children, I mean 21-year-olds.
Oh my God, stop that. I don't like that at all. I don't like that one bit.
Almost 22-year-olds.
Jeez Louise. Okay, we're moving on. We're moving on. All right, so do you know about the Kermit did 9/11 theory? Sorry, you weren't expecting me to say that, were you?
I sure wasn't.
Okay.
What?
So in this scene, we catch a glimpse out of Miss Piggy's window. And you can see very clearly the Twin Towers.
Are you fucking kidding me?
The obvious theory is that 9/11 happened in the real world. Kermit was never born. Therefore, somehow he triggered the events of 9/11. Now, obviously, it's insane. It's an insane theory, and it's not true.
That's horrible. That's so God, and that's so. Whoever came up with who came up with that?
Well, it's easy because, like, again, it's clearly. I was looking for it in this viewing.
I did not catch this.
Clearly, the Twin Towers are in view of her window.
When did they film this?
In 2002. This is after 9/11. But so here's the thing: people have asked Kirk Thatcher, the director of this special, about that theory.
Kirk Thatcher directed this?
Yes, Kirk Thatcher.
How did
directed
I miss
this.
that?
I don't know, but it's a
I know
true
Kirk.
fact. Yes, you do.
Poor Kirk.
And so they've asked him about it, and he's like, "Well, the truth is that like we just used a scrim. It was a scrim of the skyline of New York City, and nobody thought.
Nobody thought
what is in plain view of the window. So it is an accident."
Much like this entire movie.
Yeah, really. A lot of thought was not put into a lot of things.
No
in this
kidding.
movie. Yeah.
It literally also 9/11 had literally just happened. I remember they would talk about how they had to re-edit a trailer for Spider-Man to take out the Twin Towers.
That's right.
And like the opening of Sex and the City used to have the Twin Towers.
Yep.
And then when the newest season came out, the Twin Towers weren't in the opening credits. Like this is something people were very conscientious about. Man, oh man, that is nasty.
Yeah,
I don't
not
like
great.
that.
Not
I don't
great.
like that at all.
Yep. But we'll move on from that. We don't need to talk about that theory. You all can think about that on
Let's
your own
talk
time.
about Gonzo and Kermit's song.
Yeah,
that they sing it back at the mall.
Yeah, Kermit runs back to the mall and he sees Gonzo. He's there by himself, where he left him, and Gonzo sings solo a couple of verses about the most miserable Christmas, and then Kermit joins in, but he turns it into the most wonderful Christmas, and it segues into the song "Everyone Matters." What do you think about "Everyone Matters," Sarah?
I would argue that AI wrote it, but that's 15 years too far in the future. So I think, I don't know how. I think very much like it's just a 9/11 scrim is what that song is.
Wow. Dark. What would you think if I told you that this song was nominated for an Emmy Award?
I would say that Henry Kissinger was given the Nobel Peace Prize, so awards don't really matter.
Fair. This song was written by two people.
Again, at the two people making a mistake.
That's right. Desmond Child and David Sigerson, or Sigerson. Sorry, I'm not sure how to pronounce that last name. David Sigerson has nothing on their IMDb. I'm sorry, on their Muppet Wiki page. But Desmond Child has written many songs, including "Livin' La Vida Loca," "Livin' on a Prayer," and "Dude Looks Like a Lady." Also, a song that was in Moulin Rouge, "Elephant Love Song," which is just funny because it's full circle there.
Yeah.
But
Elephant Love Song. He must be a music guy because that is.
Yes, he's a music guy.
No. I mean, like he wrote the music. He didn't write the lyrics because Elephant Love Song Melody is a montage of new pop songs. So he might have written the music, but maybe not the lyrics.
Well, I don't know what to tell you. That is what I'm reading on the Muppet Wiki.
Well, did he write the lyrics? Is that what you're saying? Or did they both write the music and lyrics?
You're asking me questions I don't know the answer to.
Oh, I don't know.
No, I'm telling
I'm
you.
not looking at the Muppet Wiki.
I'm telling you. That's all it says.
All right,
Hit songs include. Yeah.
Either way, I think they went to the bathroom and wrote this song.
Yes.
Like I think they were sitting on the toilet and taking a crap and
much like
making this song.
Much like the script and some of the
scrim.
jokes and the character choices, everything needed just one more draft.
Oh, that one, I don't know. That song is pretty wretched.
So you're not going to put that on your Christmas Carol list this year?
Is it a Christmas Carol? Is it
know.
about Christmas? I don't think it's about Christmas.
It appears in a Christmas movie.
But
Is that not it?
It's like a Die Hard thing. It's like technically not really Christmas at all.
That's a question to ask.
If they don't say Christmas, it's not a Christmas song.
What about When the River Meets the Sea? Is that a Christmas song?
No, it's a song about death.
Well, people die on Christmas. No?
They do, unfortunately. But
yeah.
yes, it just happens to be sung in a Christmas special. Which
Yeah.
And River Meets the Sea.
Phenomenal
It's
song.
one of the most beautifully written songs in the world.
Yeah.
And if I die, you can sing that at my funeral.
Yeah, no notes. No notes.
No
on that song.
notes.
Yeah.
Paul Williams, you know how much I love him. Oh.
So, Christmas. Christmas the Frog.
Christmas the Frog gets Christmas in his heart and starts screaming about how he wants to live.
He wants to live again.
Shocker.
He doesn't capture the same magic, by the way, as when he wanted to never be born.
Yeah, well, when the willingness to die and the willingness to live are not always quite the same zhuzh.
That's a fair point. So Daniel spits in his eye, sends him back to the real world, and
That's how I time travel.
Kermit has a Mary. Is it time travel? It's not time travel. Same time. It's universe travel.
Multiverse hopping.
Multiverse
Pardon
hopping.
me.
Yes. Kermit has one of his one of these like Merry Christmas movie house scenes where he's running through town. Really, it's just the one park set, and he's really happy. And then he runs into the theater. And he's wishing everybody Merry Christmas. He kisses Miss Piggy without her consent. He forgives.
Oh, she loves that. She's all about that.
He knew.
She's consented to be kissed at any moment.
Yeah, that's fair. Forgives Fozzie, even though he probably doesn't deserve it. And
Just like Uncle Billy.
and Mrs. Bitterman shows up, and she's like, everybody.
Mrs.
Well, I guess Ms. Her husband is dead.
Ms.
Yeah. Right. Excuse me, Ms. Bitterman. She shows up to kick everybody out. And she's like, I own the theater now, lock, stock, and barrel. And then there's this like weird karate fight between her and Miss Piggy.
Also racist.
Tell me about why.
Because they do the fake kung fu movie dubbing thing, which is racist.
Yeah.
And you can at me about that if you disagree, but I think that parody, you can't just like grab bag parody like that.
There was a time I think we could have done that. I think, seriously, I say this with all seriousness because
in Blazing Saddles.
Yeah, right, exactly.
When you're doing a bunch of other...
Well, I mean, to be fair, the Muppets are attempting a lot of parody in this special, and it's almost entirely unsuccessful. So that would kind of parallel to a movie like Blazing Saddles. But it's obvious that they're not thinking about the racial undertones. They're thinking about parodying a movie style. And, it's kind of, I don't even want to use the word funny because it's not funny, but like it's kind of almost amusing because of the idea of Muppet mouths moving, but the words not matching because it's something we literally never see. But I'm saying this in a way where it's like, but it wasn't fun or funny or interesting, so they shouldn't have done it.
No.
And even forgetting the racial undertones for a moment, it just wasn't a good enough joke to leave in the movie.
Absolutely.
They just wanted to have Miss Piggy karate chop somebody.
Which she already does when she's an old maid. She can just karate chop the shit out of Joan Cusack and call it a day. She doesn't need to have a kung fu sequence.
That's true.
And it wasn't just the dubbing. It was also like the wrists. It was like leading up to the dubbing, this like kind of wrist movements that they did, kind of ramping up to that moment of the kung. There was like the whole kung fu sequence was very much a hat on a hat on a hat.
And it comes across as cheap.
Totally.
Because, I mean, yeah, again, like not even thinking about the dubbing stuff of just like Joan Cusack kind of doing the crane kick thing, but not really. And it's just, I don't know, they're just messing around on camera.
And it has no rooting in any precedent. It's not like, this whole time she's been like, well, my sensei says at the dojo that I'm the most amazing yellow belt he's ever had.
And Ms. Bitterman has not been a part of any of these over the top spoofs yet.
Precisely.
So she's coming into the Muppets world and getting into this wackiness, but really she didn't need it. Because Joan Cusack is really funny on her own.
She walked into the theater doing puppetry with a dollar bill. That's what we want to see.
Yeah, that's great.
It was so good.
That was a great moment. I love that. So who shows up to save the day? It's Pepe. And
you mean Pee-Pee?
I don't mean Pee-Pee. I didn't like that joke.
That was the worst joke in the whole movie.
It's pretty bad, where she calls him Pee-Pee instead
twice.
of Pepe.
She doubles down on it.
She does. He made the Muppet Theater a historical landmark.
Which, honestly, great solution.
Great solution. Weird that it happened on Christmas Eve.
Yeah, after
those
hours,
offices are definitely closed.
100%.
And it definitely takes more than like 10 minutes to get something like that done.
But you know what also? Whoopi Goldberg is God, so this is her universe. We're just living in it.
That is a very good point. So by making it a historical landmark, the theater can never be torn down. That's the deal. It can never be changed or torn down. But that doesn't really solve any of their problems. Like she could still easily kick the Muppets out and turn it into, a theater for someone else. She could just board it up, that's...
She just wants to make a kinky gay bar.
Right. She can't do that with the Muppet Theater now. That is what they've accomplished. But that's kind of it.
As long as they have each other, they have the Muppet Theater in their hearts.
I guess. The special ends with Bobo showing up out of nowhere, dressed as Santa Claus, saying, I don't know, guys are singing outside and it's snowing. You guys want to come see it?
As Joan Cusack leaves the theater saying, no, I hate you Muppets. No.
She actually says, I hate you muffins.
She says muffins?
She calls them muffins.
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah, because she's so funny.
She is so funny.
I love her. Oh, we both love her.
She's
so
mine. You can't
everyone,
have her.
everyone goes outside.
You can have her a little bit.
And they sing some Christmas carols and a reprise of your favorite song and mine, Everyone Matters.
Can I say?
Yes.
I'm currently in a Christmas play called The Christmas Tree Farm. And we open and close with the same songs that not Everyone Matters. But
What?
guess what? No, this movie starts with Deck the Halls and it ends with We Wish You a Merry Christmas, eventually going into Everyone Matters. And that's what The Christmas Tree Farm also does. And watching this, I want to text my director and be like, excuse me, because it's not in the script what we sing. It was just like they sing Christmas carols. And I'm like, Rachel, do you love A Very Muppet Christmas? I don't think she does. It just might be a weird coincidence, but I had to state it because I was a little flabbergasted.
I hope the answer is yes. You're going to have to report back to me.
I sure will.
Yeah. So that's the end of the special. Before we move on, I do want to talk a little bit about some of these cameos.
I have notes.
About cameos or about
Yes.
the plot?
The cameos.
Great. Let's go through them one by one.
Can't wait.
Joe Snow, the snowman.
I want more Joe Snow.
Did you want more Joe Snow?
I'm a big fan of those claymation specials, and once you were like, that's Mel Brooks, I was like, more Joe Snow for me.
It was a little disappointing to me that they got the Mel Brooks back to work with the Muppets because he was in the Muppet movie.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
He was that German.
Yeah, he was kind of a Nazi.
He loves playing Nazis.
Well, he's quite good at it. But it's just a voice cameo, so we don't even get like a press photo with him in the Muppets.
Well, and I, having never seen this movie, didn't want to be spoiled by who was in it, so I saw David Arquette's name, and then you were like, look away.
Yeah.
So I didn't see any of them.
I specifically didn't want you to see Joan Cusack's name. That was the big one.
And I
wanted that
appreciate
to be a surprise.
I appreciate
Yeah.
that. I love a surprise Joan Cusack. But I just hoped that Jeffrey Tambor wasn't in it. Like, because I know that he was in Muppets from Space.
Yeah,
and
and
like,
Muppets Wizard of Oz.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. I was like, I don't want a surprise Jeffrey Tambor.
No.
I don't want to see that man ever.
There are probably a couple of not so great surprises for you, but we'll go through them.
Oh, we will.
The next cameo was Carson Daly. Did you even remember he was in the movie? We just watched it.
Yes, because you know why?
Why?
Somehow that man has had a career this entire time he is on the Today Show currently. And why? What has this man ever offered this world?
I think he's so... This is my point. He's so bland. He's so forgettable.
And yet he's rewarded by having this career where he's famous and does absolutely nothing.
And he got to hang out with Kermit the Frog that one time.
Boo.
Boo.
He was really good in Josie and the Pussycats when he tried to kill Tara Reid. But
Wow.
that's it.
Spoilers. Okay. Next was Matthew Lillard.
Matthew Lillard, who as a person is a national treasure, but that character and the spoof of Cirque du Soleil was absolute garbage.
Yes. I thought he chewed that scenery so hard like he was trying to one-up the Muppets.
Yes.
And I did not care for that.
I wonder if the casting director is just a big Scream fan between him and David Arquette.
That's a good question.
Do you think they tried to get what's his
Like
name?
Nev Campbell or
No. Skeet Ulrich.
Skeet Ulrich?
In
Yes,
here?
I think they tried to get Skeet Ulrich to do a scene with Scooter. Skeet and Scooter.
In the Go-Go
Yes.
cage.
Yes, I think that's a thing that happened. There's a scene where Kermit is trying to make a bunch of phone calls to get a new star, because Miss Piggy doesn't want to do the show. First, he calls Kelly Ripa.
Who, if you ever want to check out Broad City, is hilarious in an episode of Broad City. She plays a parody of herself. 10 stars. Not as funny in this movie.
Yeah, she doesn't really do anything funny. She's
No.
just like, sorry, Kermit, I want to be with my family.
Yep.
Okay, thanks, Kelly.
And then she
Moving on.
got her check and left.
That's right. Next was Molly Shannon.
I think that was the only time in the entire movie I actually was laughing out loud. Her monologue about a frog who ghosted her.
I
love her.
I did not care for that joke every other time I've seen this movie.
Mm-hmm.
This was the screening in which I was like, oh no, this is hysterical. Absolutely hysterical.
I know that you're not as big of a fan of Molly Shannon as I am. I think almost everything she does is so funny. but I'm glad you also appreciated it this time around.
I did. I very much
so
did.
funny.
Next was fellow puppet Triumph the Insult Comic Dog.
Again, very
Weird choice.
2002.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, he's
And
still out there.
Synergy.
And Synergy, right? He is an NBC dude. Miss Piggy tries to get into an episode of Scrubs, and the entire cast and creator Bill Lawrence are all there.
Yep. I said, wow, even Bill Lawrence has a cameo.
Weird. I mean, I get it. Synergy. They're promoting, the fact that Scrubs is also on this channel. They say the words "must-see TV." Weird choice. And also, I think it was just a few years later that the entire Sesame Street gang appeared in an episode of Scrubs. There's obviously a big connection to Scrubs and Muppets.
Right, and Stephanie DeBruso plays the lead in the musical episode.
That's right. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then weird that, like, that's still kind of the beginning of the movie. There's only one other cameo in the entire back half of the movie, and it's Joe Rogan, who we've already talked about. Yeah.
I hate him so much.
I don't care for him, and we talked about this. It makes me sad that, like, I don't think I can watch news radio, which is a show I very much enjoyed, between him and Andy Dick.
Well, we'll figure it out someday.
Someday I'll feel okay about it. That day's not today. That's it for the cameos. I do want to talk very briefly, too, about some of these references. There's so many references to things. We've talked about most of them. It's a Wonderful Life, obviously, is the biggest one. Mm-hmm. There's a reference to A Christmas Story.
Yeah, I will say I enjoy a tongue stuck to the pole
Did
gag.
you like that?
I did enjoy that. It's probably my favorite part of the movie in A Christmas Story.
Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Because everything else is too stressful.
You and I have bonded over the fact that we really dislike that
Oh
movie.
my God. That movie stresses me out so much. I think it is so mean and so stressful, and I hate it. And I think anybody who enjoys that movie is a psychopath.
But that's one of those scenes, that scene gives me so much anxiety. That poor kid, he's stuck out there with his tongue on the thing.
He's kind of a shitty kid. It's fine. They're all shitty kids. Maybe I would like it more because now I see that they're all shitty kids. But
yeah.
I will say in A Christmas Story, one other thing I do enjoy is when the little brother is all bundled up in the jacket and the snow pants, and he's just kind of like
he can't put his arms down.
Yeah, he can't put his arms down. That's cute.
Yeah,
I like that. I like that. One other moment. Everything else, burn it.
Great. A Beautiful Mind.
Oh my God. Which, by the way, for anybody who doesn't know, that movie is highly inaccurate to the Nash's life experience. So if you want to know the truth, I recommend watching the PBS special.
If you want to know the truth, you should watch this movie and see the scene in which Beaker gets his hands crushed by a window.
Which is why he can never get swole, because he's always getting his hands crushed.
Yeah, he can't lift weights when his fingers are broken.
He can't do it.
Can't do it.
That's why he's got those noodle arms.
We talked about Moulin Rouge, Crocodile Hunter, The Grinch, Star Wars with the Yoda puppets, Miss Cleo. There's one other reference that I noticed that I don't know if it's actually a reference or not, but I'm going to choose to believe that it is. There was a very brief passing reference, I think, to The Shining.
Tell me more.
Miss Piggy, in the world where Kermit was never born, lives in apartment 217.
Oh, good grief.
That's the apartment number that Daniel calls out. Now, in the movie, it's famously room 237. But in the book, it's 217. Do you think that's a coincidence?
No, I thought you were going to say when she throws Kermit out, there's a hole in her door and he's looking through the hole and she's crying. So it's kind of like the shot where... But no, I think that's a total stretch. But I will say, I think there was a Zoolander joke that you missed. So when Joan Cusack shows Pepe the model of Club Dot, and he's like, who can even fit in here? Because Zoolander came out the year before in 2001. So I wonder if that's... There was a lot of like, how will anyone even go to this club? Everyone has to be so tiny.
Yeah, club for ants and all that.
Yeah, he didn't...
Yeah, that's a good point. And actually, a part of me kind of wishes, if that's true, that they had made an actual reference to Zoolander.
Yeah, well...
like to say like it's Club Dot for ants or something like that. I don't know what the clever version of that would be.
Well, then Pepe the Prawn would have just turned his head really fast and done like a blue steel look to the camera. Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess writing is hard.
It's not that hard. Jerry Jewell does it pretty well. That's all I'll say.
That is very true. So let me ask you, now that we've reached the end of this movie.
Oh my gosh.
In your expert opinion, is this movie so bad it's truly unwatchable?
Yes.
Or is it so bad it's good?
No. This is not a Mr. Willoughby's Christmas Tree situation. Like, Mr. Willoughby's Christmas Tree, you can enjoy because it's so camp, and the mice subplot, though kind of dull, is still kind of sweet, and the human stuff is so over the top. And thankfully, it would be a completely different story if Robert Downey Jr. had like died in a car crash because he was high, or like had been in jail forever, completely had his career disappear and fall off a cliff. But instead, he's a millionaire, and his career is gangbusters.
Yeah, he's Iron Man.
Yeah, and has been for a long time. So like, you can watch it and be like, wow, that was a wild time in his life, being completely high off his mind and doing this Muppet special. Like, that's a thing you can enjoy and watch. I can't really say the same thing with a special Sesame Street Christmas, but I know that's true for you. This is just a waste of time. There's nothing, because it's also like, I wrote down Kermit needs Prozac. As somebody who is on Prozac, I can say Kermit needs it in this film. Like, it's just not in any way. There's nothing enjoyable about it. There are things you can try to enjoy, like if you were forced to watch this, but it's not something that you can laugh with.
Can you tell me what the actual most enjoyable thing about this movie is?
Molly Shannon's brief monologue about being ghosted by a frog every time Joan Cusack does anything. And I also appreciate the fact that Pepe calls Joan Cusack hot and is like very into her and is like, she's really sexy. And they allow, every time Joan Cusack is a villain, she's a sexy villain. And I really love that, because she's not a traditionally Hollywood sexy person. And everyone just is like, you know what? No, we've all decided that she is sexy and she is evil. And I'm like, yeah, she is.
That's interesting that you say that too. Not that you're wrong about anything that you said, but a lot of people criticize this movie because Pepe is so overly sexual.
Isn't he always overly sexual, though?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he comes across at times a little bit like a predator.
Yeah, but not for her. That's an equal. She's using him to get to the Muppets.
Yeah, that's fair.
This is a quid pro quo situation.
Sure.
He's literally painting her toenails at her desk. She is a boss bitch, and he's just like doing what she wants. And then he's like, wait a second, what am I doing? But like, he was totally on board to just totally turncoat the Muppets because she is just that hot. And she's like, all right, you can come. I don't care.
All right.
No, she is in no way a victim. Also, she's literally evil. So
fair.
She calls the Muppets muffins. Like,
how dare she?
How dare?
How dare? Well, Sarah.
Wait, I have a couple things I do want to.
Oh yes,
yeah.
Please.
I just wrote down because we didn't. Just some tips and tabs that I just wanted to like put out there. The bench that Kermit decides to die or deep hibernate on is right in front of a statue of Kermit and two children, and it is the creepiest statue I have ever seen.
It's horrible.
It's heinous.
Yeah.
I wish that statue had never been born.
Yeah, the kids have like these weird like bug eyes and like too many teeth.
Too many teeth.
And like obviously they tried to make them look like real kids. I don't know why they didn't try to Muppetize them or make it a little bit abstract. But yeah, it's not a good mold.
I also like Sam the Eagle's emo hair that he has.
Yes, there's a joke about him. Like, how can he afford his Propecia?
Which,
if
again,
he can get paid by the Muppet Theater?
Very 2002.
True.
I had not heard of Propecia. Like, it had been a long time. It's like Cream Savers.
The weird thing about that joke to me is that line goes by so fast. So the rest of the special, you're going like, well, so why does he have that weird hair piece?
Yeah. And
it never turns into a joke.
No.
It's never referenced again. I don't even know if he's wearing it at the end of the special. I should go and check. It's a weird choice.
He doesn't have it in the alternative universe.
Fair.
He just has the pacifier because he's rolling so
it's
hard.
Kermit's fault. He was born, and Sam the Eagle got really sensitive about his bald head.
Yes. Well, probably because he's on TV so much. Also, I think it's hilarious that in every I Wish I'd Never Been Born, even though the guide or angel tells him, okay, we're going to go to a universe where you've never been born. Nobody knows you. The protagonist is always like, don't you know me? Hey, we're pals. And it's like, you literally were just told this. And then the angel has to go again. No, don't you understand? They don't know you. You've never been born. And the audience is like, we already know.
We get it. Move on.
Yeah, the other thing is just that God says, this is no good. This is no good at all. And I think God was right.
Well, with that, lovely final note. Sarah, thank you so much for being here. This was such a joy to get to do a Muppet podcast with you.
I live here. I couldn't escape.
You couldn't escape. I, again, apologize wholeheartedly.
You'll have to make it up to me with different Muppet specials for Christmas.
All right, your choice. Whatever we watch next, you can choose.
I guess it's a Muppet Christmas Carol.
Again.
Once more.
One more time.
God bless my little broken body.
Sarah, where, if anywhere, can people find you on the internet should you want to be found?
Please find me on Instagram at Sarah Eliz Grace. I also have a Substack called Grace and Storms. You can also listen to my podcast, which is a fictional series podcast. It's 9 episodes. They are all available across all podcast platforms, called Nora's Dragon. It is a romance for adults. Go check it out. There's a teaser if you want to know a little bit more so that you know what you're hopping into. And that's pretty much everywhere you can find me.
Great. And if you want to find us at toughpigs.com, go to toughpigs.com. That's our website. We are also at Tough Pigs on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky, Mastodon, everything else.
And a partridge in a pear tree.
We also have a Patreon and a TeePublic if you'd like to support us financially. That would be real cool of you. Otherwise, please stay tuned to this podcast channel for more of the Worst of the Muppets Holiday Edition coming at you real soon. Thanks for listening, everybody. Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas, movie house!